Makes sense. I'd love to play first. Yeah, that sounds great. MTG and bagels. Those are both great things. Thanks for the tier 1 sub. I appreciate it. You know, I love playing Magic, but my subscribers are definitely the reason that I'm able to be here doing this as a job. So thank you for the support and thanks for keeping me employed. You should always just take the card that you care about. So I'm going to take the Stone Rain. Their hand is like all mana, so I guess we're fetching a basic forest here. Well, I promise that I do get any donations and bits and everything else when I'm not online, so. Fetch basic forest here. This can fetch our second basic swamp. I will be online tomorrow night as well, so this is an extra stream. I don't always stream on Tuesday nights, but I do always stream on Wednesday evenings. So I'll be live again tomorrow night. I'm going to be throwing in, I'm going to be doing some extra hours again this week, so I'd like to get the queue down to a reasonable amount. I don't like it when we have decks in the queue above 50 points, so ideally I would like to get everything crossed off the list by the end of the week that's above 50. Green Black is sweet. Field of Rune's a good card. Don't Blood Moon me. Scavenging Ooze, sure. I would like to push your Scavenging Ooze off of a cliff, please. Please and thank you. And again, we're going to lead on this Verdant Catacombs here. I'm not going to fetch with the Verdant, because if we draw Tireless Tracker, it could potentially be a clue for us, but I am going to go ahead and play it out, so that way if they draw Blood Moon, we can fetch a basic swamp in response. Would 4-color Pyro be a reasonable donation deck? I don't know if you saw my message. If I didn't respond to your message and it's been more than 24 hours, you should send the message again. I often miss things, especially with the craziness that happened last weekend. I almost certainly missed a few things, so. I think I'm just fetch pushing this. And I'm pretty sure I want to fetch... basic swamp to push it. I could get in trouble by not having a red source here. Yeah, probably... I guess I don't have that many red cards in my deck, right? Yeah, I'm going to fetch the basic swamp and continue hedging Blood Moon, I think. This makes my Scavenging Ooze a 4/4, and like getting my Scavenging Ooze out of Lightning Bolt range is a pretty big deal. Over the weekend is what I meant. Did I say last night? If I said last night, I meant over the weekend. Yeah, we had someone donate a large amount for a cube last night, and we're gonna do that tomorrow morning. I promise to do one more cube this season. I don't plan to do a ton of cubes. That's why there's usually a large amount of democracy when we do. Yeah, Conley dances pretty often. It's a thing that he does. This is our first match. This is game 1, match 1. Well, at least they also have nothing going on. I'm going to hold the rest of these lands here in case we draw Tireless Tracker. I like getting the Blooming Marsh into play. It really sucks that we're flooding a little bit here and we don't have any of our 4 creature lands. But hopefully we just, like, kill them in 2 attacks here. Hopefully they just keep flooding and they die. Please be dead. 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 Yay. We did it. We did it. We did it. Hooray. I think Duress is good here. Golgari Charm's probably fine. Kolaghan's Command's probably bad. Is Liliana kind of mediocre? Fatal Push and Explosives are probably both okay. Brutality probably doesn't take enough that I care about. It's bad-ish, yeah. It's like you're not like super excited to cut up at the same time. You're like, yeah, this can probably go. Trim one of these maybe. Which, my opinion on Abrupt Decay, I think it's worse than Maelstrom Pulse in the format. I play Abrupt Decay inside of green-black, but in Jund here, I don't have enough room for it. I'd rather prioritize Maelstrom Pulse and Kolaghan's Command. I don't think I want these other cards. Click submit. No, their deck doesn't grind, really. Their deck has a very limited number of threats, by and large. I'm gonna keep this. It's got access to a couple of basic lands. It's got a Lightning Bolt in case they have a Dork on one. I'm sure they'll have Utopia Sprawl now, though. Yeah. This is gonna fetch basic swamp. It's nice to lead on a fetch land when you have the ability to, when they're gonna possibly have a turn 2 Stone Rain, because they can't Stone Rain this. We played one league before this. This was an extra stream. I don't normally stream on Tuesday nights. You want to make sure you're following me on Twitch with notifications on, or on Twitter for heads up when I'm streaming. Other things like this. What do we got? Kitchen Finks, sure. Fetch a Schwamp here. And then Scavenging Ooze can actually Nick let us bolt the Kitchen Finks, and then eat it so it doesn't come back into play. So that's nice. We're exposing our forest to a Stone Rain effect here, but at the same time we're protecting ourselves against the Blood Moon. It's like 6 in one, 10 half dozen in the other. Like, the opponent's deck is going to fuck you regardless of what you do a lot of the time. It would be nice to have drawn a spell at some point this game, but I guess opponent didn't draw spells last game, so fair's fair. Welcome to Thunderdome. I could play this out to fetch a swamp. Feels like they don't have a Blood Moon, though. How wrong am I? Could they find one? Survey says. So we're cut off our double black spells, which sucks a little bit. I don't actually have that many double black spells in my deck, though, right? Super glad that they killed my swamp but not my forest here, though. Because, like, I have more swamps, I don't have more forests. I don't have that many double black spells in my deck, chat. I don't have that many double black spells in my deck, chat. I do play through swamps. I'm a big fan of basic lands. I play 3 swamps and a basic mountain in this build. I really hate losing to blue-white control. Do I want Anger of the Gods? I feel like I want Anger of the Gods. It kills Bloodbraids. It clears out Kitchen Finks. Since they have Kitchen Finks, I feel like I want Anger. Maybe these K commands are good. Let's do this. Let's get rid of this card. Let's do this. I mean, yep. To be fair, it isn't exactly the Blood Moons that punish our mana base in this matchup. It's the fact that they're combining Blood Moons alongside Stone Rain effects. So, like, this deck actually is pretty good against Blood Moon out of decks that aren't also pressuring your basics. But we definitely get caught in, like, catch-22s a lot of the time where, like, we can't afford to play around. We can't afford to play around Blood Moon and Stone Rain. So I'm going to choose to play around Blood Moon again here. And then if we get Stone Rained off our basics, we get Stone Rained off our basics. Good news is, if we draw an untapped land next turn, we get to go like second Goyf plus Inquisition, which is like our best possible start here by and large. So Please, 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 can I draw a second land? God, that's fucking brutal. God, that's rough. This just takes our Goyfs and basically turns them off. Land, please. Land, please. Ding. Ding. Blood Moon double tracker. Huh. I feel like I don't care about the moon. Yeah, I feel like I just take that. Yeah, yep. I play these. Would have ideally liked a green source there, but definitely Blackcleave Cliffs is better than missing a land drop. Wonder if they're going to pop this now that we played the Skews, because the Skews gets bigger off of these in their bid. So they're more inclined to do it. Yep. Sure. Ding. Makes their Tireless Tracker worse too. I don't think this deck is that bad of a Ponza matchup, Burgle. My concede threshold is pretty quick, but I don't think our matchup's actually that bad here. More Relics sucks for us, just because we happen to draw both Tarmogoyfs. K-Command, K-Command. Alright, that's a Bloodbraid Elf. I'm going to offer this trade here, just because I have a follow-up Scavenging Ooze. K-Command would have been sick here. We're just going to like Shatter Shock and just smash them. Bloodbraid Elf is great. That's why she's in my deck. And there's 2 copies of Bloodbraid Elf. I think she's worse than Tireless Tracker, but I think she's definitely playable if I want more top end than just 4 Tracker. I also think this artwork is stunning. It's actually one of my wallpapers right now. To set the bar exceedingly low, Bloodbraid Elf is better than Jace the Mind Sculptor in Modern. But that's like a super low bar. That's not what you should measure yourself against. Hopefully they miss a land drop, and then we hit a land drop, and we get to smash them here. Are you playing Tireless Tracker out? Am I getting Stone Rained? Stone Rain would be really bad for me. Arbor Elf, sure. Land, please. There are 25 lands in my deck. Come on. Well, I mean, I get to do this. You should read the chat rules before you post something like that. If they exile Relic here, I get Teeth Arbor Elf in response with my Scavenging Ooze, which is nice. So, unless they hit Bolt here, we're still in an okay spot. At least they've been missing on lands too. The fact that we're missing our 4th tilt, I'd say, is a little bit less bad because they're also missing. Or like Cascade into Stone Rain here and just destroy us. Just a Lightning Bolt. Okay, well, that kills Scavenging Ooze, but it makes my Tarmogoyf a little bit bigger, so that's like not a complete loss since I have another Goyf. Their hand is Tireless Tracker, and then 2 cards I don't know currently. Really like to draw a land, please. Let's make my Goyf bigger at least. Oh, that's bad for us. I'm not tired. I'm just not as loud as I normally am during the day because the kids are asleep upstairs behind me. I wonder if I'm not supposed to play the other Goyf, because if they Chandra down-ticked on the Goyf, I could blow the Engineered Explosives in response and make my Goyfs much larger. I wonder if that's the line there. That might be the better line. Yeah, that's probably better. Huh. Can I have a land, please? God bless. Come on, Bloodbraid. Don't fail me now. Watch it hit like Fatal Push. Oh, can everybody just take a fucking minute and appreciate this Bloodbraid Elf? I just need everybody to take like just 30 fucking seconds and just appreciate the shit out of this Bloodbraid Elf. Just, okay, we appreciated it. All right, let's kill their shitter and get one of our shitters back. They have Stomping Ground in their hands. I don't care about that. I would like to pick my Tarmogoyf back up, and I would like to shoot your Bloodbraid Elf. And then I cast a Bloodbraid Elf, right? I think it's right to kill the Chandra here. I don't want to give them 2 draws and an Inferno Titan. This Goyf will be a 6/7 next turn when I crack this Engineered Explosives too. So it actually outsizes a Inferno Titan. Oh, you showed me your lands. That's unfortunate. Maybe you should play a deck that has less mana in it. When my 25 land Jund deck has less mana than your deck, maybe you should reconsider your life decisions. How we doing, folks? How we doing? It's just good clean Magic the Gathering. Good clean Magic the Gathering. Just like the slightest hint of red in the deck. What is, okay, here's a fun quiz for chat. What's the best card we gain access to in this deck that's red? What's the best red card in this deck compared to just playing green-black? God, Infinity with the fucking trick question correct answer. Look at all you people ain't never played it. This is the best fucking red card in the deck. It was a trick question. It was a trick question, but Infinity got it. Props to you, Infinity. Infinity. Yeah, you got there. You got there. Fucking Raging Ravine. That's why it's a trick question. That's why it's a trick question, chat. In a not close race, it is Raging Ravine. Oh, geez. We queued into Anoronics. His hand's decent. It needs some lands and eventually a threat, but like double discard on the play is hard to pass up. Oh, he's playing GDS. Okay. This matchup's pretty decent for us. I think. My gut says it's got to be decent for us. I think I just take their Inquisition, right? Just like take their toys that take our toys. And I can Inquisition them again next turn. The best card is Blackcleave Cliffs. Let's go to Joseph. That's Joseph Herrera. He's played probably more Jund than myself and everybody in chat combined. Oh, look at that. More dick punching. Just like punch them in the dick repeatedly. Haja, haja, haja. Got the soft stub, huh? He might not come back. I guess there's a world where he gets to deal enough damage to himself to put the Shadow into play this turn, but I have the Fatal Push to cover that if that happens. Okay, yeah. So they have Grave, Battle Rage, Death Shadow, and they get to stick the Shadow now. Red Source. Come on, Red Source. Red Source. Red Source. That'll do, big. That'll do. It's not what the doctor ordered, but we'll take it. Ow. Ow. They have another Death Shadow. We're actually in trouble here now. You have Temur, Battle Rage, Watery Grave. That was a good one. Just get this out of the way now. Even a green source is just a good draw here. Just like beat him to death with Treetop Village. That will also do pig. I'm going to trade my bolt for their Temur Battle Rage. Not close. Liliana is very insane in this matchup. They basically have to draw like Snapcaster Mage to get back in the game at this point. She just like eats all their other threats. The classic Thought Scour bee. Cheeky. Cheeky. He milled me through. I guess I would have been able to cast these. So technically, he milled me through non-lands, which is nice. Forest, green source. Forest, green source. Castable spell. There's way more than 10 creature lands. Like, there's a Treetop Village right here. Remember when we were playing 25 lands, chat? Remember that time we were playing 25 lands? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Don't cut fucking lands from your decks, chat. There's always that comment whenever we're playing decks I play on stream. My decks always have more lands than what other people play. And just like, don't cut lands. Draw lands, cast your spells, win the games. It's like a good series of plays. Flashback Faithless Looting here. Yep. Looting's neat in this deck. It seems like a good innovation. This was what's his name? Friedman's innovation, right? "24 lands. Hope you miss your third land and die every other game." If you genuinely think you should cut a land from your Jund deck, you should smack yourself in the face and just add a creature land. Like, that is literally the solution to everybody's problems that wants to cut lands. If you think you should cut a land, smack yourself in the face and add a utility land instead. And then you can thank me later when you can like actually cast your spells and not die. I think this is not a K-Command matchup. It's definitely a Maelstrom Pulse matchup. I definitely want these three. It's not a Lightning Bolt matchup. It's not a Grim Lavamancer matchup. Just need to put 2 more cards in here. Maybe K-Command is fine. Maybe K-Command is fine. Brutality's not even that good either. Brutality is also not that good. These Baloths might be okay. Yeah, they just like beat my opponent to death. I guess Kalitas isn't bad either. It's like bringing my curve up a lot though. It's possible we could just die. think this is fine. Let's do this. Let's give this a try. I'm not going to profess to know exactly what I'm doing here, but I think this feels good. Oh yeah, they could possibly have Liliana's post board too, right? They definitely have Kolaghan's commands. They're going to occasionally be pointing at my hand. Yeah, seems fine. You don't mulligan against discard based decks. So like anything that's like close to functional, you keep. Lands and spells is definitely close to functional. We don't have a discard spell in one. Because you can apply pressure when you get it immediately. Oh, my favorite thing to do. That's my favorite. Is when people don't read the chat rules and they get timed out and they come back. Be like, why'd you time me out, bro? Because you didn't read the chat rules. Read the chat rules. It's really tough. Let me give you a little piece of life advice. Life is much easier when you follow the rules for wherever you're at. I think KCI is great. I think it's hard for any deck that can win on the third turn of the game to not be that good. I should probably add a button for linking to the rules under the stream information, but I feel like if people ignore them when like they enter the stream for the first time, they're going to ignore them there too. How bad is JAC? I think JAC is great. I think that deck's awesome for a lot of the same reasons that KCI is awesome. I think that deck is genuinely powerful, and I think it's a lot like KCI in that it's difficult to play, so it doesn't see play. Braid is interesting. Their Mishra's Baubles have our Tarmogoyf all jacked up, which is great here. Not really in terms of like large tournaments, so like what you're going to play against on Magic Online and what you're going to play against at like an Open or a Grand Prix or like, you know, 100 plus player local tournament where people are going to drive from a little while around. That being said, like if you're just playing Modern at like a local game store where like the same 20 people show up every single week, that metagame is going to be specific and different. There's definitely going to be a very specific metagame when you're playing at your local game store with the same people every week. That makes my Tarmogoyf a little bit sad. I guess I'm just going to start putting my Candymen into play here. Oh, they're not particularly good in the face of Grim Angler. And then next turn I get to play second tracker, like make 4 clues potentially. Snap Thoughtseize or Snap Bolts here? The difficulty in playing combo decks isn't in executing the combo. Executing any combo in any given combo deck isn't hard by and large if you're a human with a brain. The difficulty in playing any given combo deck in any given format comes from being able to navigate that deck efficiently around the different types of disruption that your opponents are going to be bringing in against you. That's where the complexity in playing combo decks lies, especially in formats like Modern, where you have to play a deck like KCI efficiently, you need to know which decks are bringing in discard against you, which decks are bringing in counterspells, which counterspells they're bringing in, which decks tend to have permanent hate-based disruption in their sideboard, which pieces of permanent hate disruption they tend to have in their sideboard, how many they tend to play, so you know how to efficiently hedge bringing in how many Nature's Claims and how many anti-pieces of permanent-based disruption. And then during the games, on top of like having that encyclopedic knowledge of the format and how you need to play your matches, you also need to have good information behind how to sequence around and through it. Well, this is just a snap trade here because it lets my Liliana edict the Grim Angler next turn, which is nice. That's aggressive. Fatal Push. Ooh, that's actually what I asked for. I don't have a third black mana, though. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Do I want to just crack this? I kind of want to just crack this. That's not bad. Maybe this is bad. My article on gatheringmagic.com will be looking at explicitly the upcoming M19 core set and cards that I like for Modern. We're dead, Jim. Maybe I should have Fatal Pushed this and untap Liliana. Yeah, it's possible that sequence was bad. I don't think I want to change anything. Yeah, I'm just going to run it back. I got you, Tino. Yeah, I think Alpine Moon could be pretty good. I don't think it's going to, like, end Tron like a lot of people like to predict it's going to, but I think it's going to be playable. And it's great. 2 pieces of removal, a threat, plenty of mana, good colors. Yeah, Alpine Moon's going to be great in this archetype. It lets you, it's a hate card that's good against Valakut. Like, this deck doesn't really need extra cards against Storm, and Damping Sphere is a card that's good against Storm and Tron, whereas Alpine Moon is a card that's good against Valakut and Tron, and this deck is definitely in the market for cards that are good against Valakut. Valakut is a very difficult matchup for this archetype. Pretty good versus Amulet. I mean, it's like mediocre against Amulet. And like kind of slows them down. It's definitely worse than Damping Sphere against Amulet. Damping Sphere is much, much better against Amulet, I think. Just gonna go ahead and pass the turn here. I want to play my tracker next turn as a 4-drop, so I get to guaranteed make clues with it. Yeah, definitely. I think the JAC deck is great. That is a deck that I could see myself playing at the Open in Indianapolis next month too. I played it at the team paper tournament, and it was more awkward than playing it online, but it wasn't so awkward that I would never play it again. I think the JAC deck's probably going to be my fallback if I don't like any of the other decks I test for Indy. Spellstutter Spray is on the top of my list of cards to test, like not close. This feels a little bit bad. Almost certainly losing Tireless Tracker here. Yeah, that's fair, Joseph. It's probably better. Like this sideboard I have right now, I have Fulminator Mages and Damping Spheres in my board. Like, I could definitely see these becoming Alpine Moons. Just, like, play Alpine Moon and Damping Sphere. Your Tron matchup's probably pretty decent with 4, like, two Alpines and 2 Damping Spheres. I'm going to shock myself. No, I'm really glad I Fatal Push since I drew this Liliana the Veil. This is quite good. I think Crucible is nonsense in Green Black Rock, yes. I think if you want another piece of land hate in your sideboard, you should just play an actual piece of land hate. Play another Damping Sphere, play another Fulminator Mage. Something like that. How much do you have to pay to get you dressed as a fairy? I don't know, it depends on what the costume looks like, probably. Alright, my body is ready to get Stubborn Denialed. Terminate's not a bad draw. You like the Fulminator Surgical? I really don't like Surgicals in decks like this. I think a lot of the matchups where Surgicals are good, you just are already kind of ahead. going to do this now so that way they can't snap Stubborn Denial. Maybe I'm supposed to hold that because of Tireless Tracker, but getting my tap land into play is also kind of appealing here. This way, if I draw like Fatal Push next turn, I can Fatal Push plus attack with Raging Ravine. Well, that was a good draw. Raging Ravine kills real fast here. They drew another threat. Looks like a Delve threat. Yep. And I'm through both my Terminates here and my Damnation. And they have a Grim Lavamancer in play to protect from an Edict here. So we're probably just dead. They knew I had the Damnation in hand. I think because they knew about the Damnation, it was worth running it out as a 1-for-1. If they didn't know about the Damnation, I would definitely lead on the Terminate because of Stubborn Denial, but I think because they knew about the Damnation, I wanted to lead on the Terminate. I wanted to lead on the Damnation, sorry. Kalitas is not bad here. It makes it difficult to race. If they attack, I'm not blocking, I don't think. They drew Lightning Bolt. It's unfortunate. Bolt off the top to kill them. I boarded my bolts out. I'm technically not dead, but I don't have any outs here. I wonder if we're supposed to leave discarded in this matchup. I feel like we're supposed to leave discarded in this matchup, but I don't actually know. The discard mirror matches are pretty unenjoyable in Modern, which I think is a big part of why I wouldn't play this deck at a tournament. Yeah, you played pretty well, Eneronix. I don't think I'd leave in Battle Rage in this matchup, but I liked most of the lines you took. I think Tireless Tracker is very good, and I don't think Dark Confidant is very good. But take that with a grain of salt. I feel like people playing Dark Confidant and Jund probably haven't tested Tireless Tracker very much. People are pretty resilient to change, resistant to change, just like don't want to try new things. I'm gonna keep this with a Scry even though I'm on the play. It feels bad, but well, getting to 5 also feels pretty bad. Yeah, if the Kalitas would have stuck a hit, I probably would have had a chance to race, especially with the Raging Ravine. Yeah, the fact that you were, like, I only have 2 Terminates in my deck, so the fact that, like, I was through both my Terminates, you had the installation for my Liliana was, like, a pretty big deal. Hey, our subber, why do we park on driveways and drive on parkways? With the real philosophical questions. Thanks for the 6-month resubscription. I appreciate it. Magic's a fun low variance game sometimes. And this is one of the other things about playing a mid-range deck like this. Playing a mid-range deck like this, you're going to have games where you just like mulligan and die or stumble and die. And you don't get free game wins with a deck like this to make up for the fact that you're going to have games where you mulligan and die and stumble and die. These bolts are kind of mediocre too. Probably want all the bolts out actually. Maybe leave a Fatal Push in for a Celestial Colonnade. Yeah, I think I like that. I like leaving in the Maelstrom Pulses to clean up their Planeswalkers or possible Detention Spheres that they have occasionally. It's not only value, but it's like also another way to beat people to death. Like Tireless Tracker gets fairly large fairly quickly while it draws cards, which is very valuable. I think having lands in Magic allows for interesting restraints and deck building requirements, which are definitely true. Like, Hearthstone has to divide up the cards you're allowed to play in a different order and limit you on having how you can have combinations of them with the way their system works. Like, lands definitely do lend value to the game in certain ways, but they also certainly create non-games. Like, you know, watch the average Grand Prix or the average Pro Tour and, like, look at how many games are decided by one player stumbling and dying or mulliganing into oblivion. This weekend, I went to an LGS and asked anyone, had a Naru, because I had all the cards I wanted to try out Naru card, even if it's bad, I don't lose anything. But I was looking for one, and a kid asked me, willing to trade for a foil Snapcaster Mage. She was so earnest, I made myself not laugh and, like, apologize. We standing up soon? Nah, I usually don't stand in the evenings. I'm old and fat and tired. I'm gonna lead on Scavenging Ooze here. I really don't want my Tarmogoyf to die to a lightning bolt. We are 1-1 in this league, and we are down a game in this third match. Oh, please path me, baby. Rats, I was so excited. This is a matchup where you really get paid off for having 5 basics in your deck, which is nice. Probably go Duress and Goyf here, depending on what they do inside of combat. If they tap one of their lands to kill my Scavenging Ooze inside of combat, I'm definitely gonna Stone Rain them, I think. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and Duress into Goyf here now. I really like Duress in the sideboard of this deck as a 7th discard spell, because it's a discard spell that we can bring in against Burn as well, which is really nice. That's a lot of fucking cryptic commands, chat. I think I'm going to take one of those. Like I said, the Path to Exiles are going to ramp us up, so I'm pretty happy with those, especially with the Raging Ravines we have in hand. What's the next live tournament I'm going to play at? My live tournament schedule for the remainder of the year is currently SCG Indianapolis at the end of July, and then SCG Vegas in middle of November. It was really bad, Stiphen X. Just like classic, clunky creature combo deck bad. You should watch the games. They'll make you feel things. They're sweet games of Magic. Yeah, SCG Vegas is like the weekend before Thanksgiving, I think. Should be a good time. Yeah, I'm going to make Matt come with me, and Ketter's going to fly down from Portland, and we're going to play in a team together. It should be fun. Deal. So, the thing is, the way I evaluated my opponent's hand when I played it is that I'm not going to kill my opponent before they can cast these cryptic commands. So I want to get 2-for-1 as little as possible. Basically, with the Jund deck, you want to position yourself against these control decks to run them out of their 1-for-1s and then brace them off the top of your deck with more threats than they have. And especially when we're in a position to have a bunch of creature lands like we do, it's going to be very easy for us to run our opponent out of answers, because our lands are going to double as answers this game. I think we're in a good spot to win this game at this point. And this Fulminator Mage, I'm actually not going to Stone Rain my opponent with it, because this Fulminator Mage is going to 2-for-1 my opponent. This Fulminator Mage is going to attack as a Grey Ogre until my opponent needs to use a removal spell on it, and then when they finally use a removal spell on my Fulminator Mage, it's going to destroy one of their lands. It says, this is Grey Ogre, that when they finally kill it, it's like, yeah, that's fine. God, that's That's a good one. I was just on Reddit and they said the mods don't have the guts to type me out. Oh, baby. Just purr like a kitten. Purr like a kitten, chat. Just. Let me tell you about cards that are good to cast into Cryptic Mana. Just talking about blood, baby. Or 2 donations. There's another donation that I missed too. Thanks for the extra stream tonight. Let's give some extra democracy to Glittering Saheeli because I want to continue to watch you draw dead cards in your creature combo decks. Put this towards your most recent version of JAC. Let me know if you need me to send you a deck list for it. No, I have that one. No problem. Thank you for the donation, both of you. Wraith, Phoenix Lance, and Bagels. And like now they're going to be very dead very quickly. Their hand is Sulfur Falls, Flooded Shrine, 2 cards I don't know. If my opponent does have a Wrath, I get to Stone Rain them, and then I get to Kolaghan's Command back my Bloodbraid Elf and play it again. Pretty happy with what I did here. I wonder if I want Golgari Charm in this matchup. I'm not a huge fan of Collective Brutality. I think this should be in my deck. This counters Supreme Verdict, which is kind of fucking great. Just like kind of the nut. Also like destroys Azcanta and Detention Spheres and random shit like that. Kills Snapcaster Mage on occasion as well. Have you found an impromptu raid deck? Yeah, Marty sent me one. Klutz is... I don't think Klutz is going to Vegas. If he goes to Vegas, he's not playing Magic, but I'm not sure if he's going. Matt and I will definitely be going. Barring any, like, family emergencies or, like, life-changing events. It does clear Secure the Waste as well. It's, like, super flexible. It does do that. I lied about not standing in the evening. My fat ass has been sitting for 2 hours. I should stand up. My back gets twingy after about 2 hours. I think I have a Fatal Push in my deck still, so I have 1 Fatal Push and 2 copies of Fulminator Mage, which I think is plenty of answers to Celestial Colonnade. So I think about 3 is good. Yeah, push is almost strictly better. Like the 1 card that Terminate catches that push misses out of the Jeskai deck occasionally is they sometimes play Lyra and they sometimes play actually I've just talked myself into these Terminates. Dude, fucking Lyra is scary. That card's like unbeatable. I guess we have Liliana the Veil as well. Where might I be able to find information about that? On my website, jeffhoagland.com. It's my latest blog, on my last blog post on there. The TLDR is look at my streaming schedule and then drop me a message on Twitter letting me know what day you can stream when I'm wrapping up streaming so that way I can like host you after I'm done streaming. Yeah, a lot of these blue-white based control decks, Jeskai and straight blue-white, have been playing 1 Lyra or 1 Baneslayer Angel in their sideboard, sometimes even 2 copies. Just because, like, a lot of decks board down on removal against them, so it's just like a 5/5 first strike lifelink flyer that just, like, none of these mid-range decks can race. It's a little bit worse against the Liliana decks, because Liliana's a card we want against them anyways, but against the non-Liliana mid-range decks, and especially the aggressive decks, it's just like a card that ends the game on the spot. We do have a few different food emotes. I actually have 1 more emote slot open up. Actually, not that far away from getting another one. God, it's absurd. I never thought... When I started streaming full-time, I definitely thought, like, 1,000 subscriber points was going to be the ceiling. I still don't believe that I get to do this as a job. It's kind of weird. I've been doing it for, like... 2 months now full time, and it's still just one of those things where it's like, I've been looking at your games with JAC, and I think Cerulean Wisps is better than Manamorphose because it nets you a mana and only costs 1. I also think Retraction Helix. I really don't like Retraction Helix. I could see more Cerulean Wisps being okay with Manamorphose, being better than some of the copies of Manamorphose. I could buy that for $1, But I think you're a little bit off base on the other one. Are you happy with your Kool-Aid pitcher, Justin? Good evening. Anoronics, you would have loved it. I was playing against Skred with Jeskai Ascendancy at the team event, and my opponent passed the turn with Damping Sphere, Relic, Blood Moon, Grafdigger's Cage in play, and I end-step killed their sphere and then untapped and killed them. It was quite good. Quite good. Yeah, I definitely think a big part of the success that I've had here is because the content is viewer focused, right? And like that's a big appeal to Twitch in general, right? Like people watch Twitch as opposed to network television or stuff like that because they're interested in getting that interactive element. I am up late tonight. I probably shouldn't have started a second league, but we're here now, and I don't half finish league, so we're finishing this. Am I in the Lyra or Baneslayer camp? They're both pretty similar, right? You should play Lyra because I told people to play Cast Down. You should play Lyra because people are playing Cast Down is the answer, I think. Is that Teferi? Yep, okay. Just dressing up as an owl. What's going on, Zintoth? Yeah, it's actually our second league of the evening. We're going for a little while. My love for Magic and watch your stream is the main reason why I have the courage to actually start streaming. That's awesome. That's great to hear. Streaming's a lot of fun. It's definitely the reason why I started initially, just because I was enjoying doing it. So we need like a Bloodbraid or a Maelstrom Pulse like right now, where this Teferi's probably unbeatable. I'm gonna crack this to start. Well, see if they have a bolt or if we get a second clue. We do get a second clue here, so we're getting our grind on a little bit. But this is pretty terrifying. Letting them untap with Teferi is pretty scary. I'm really boring outside of the game, Anoronics. I don't do a whole lot, if we're being honest. I basically play Magic, eat, sleep, and like hang out with my kids. I guess we play board games on occasion too. That's the other thing I do outside of playing Magic is I play board games with my wife and her friends. I am not complaining. It is something of a charmed life. This is match 3. This is game 3, and we are 1-1 in the league. You want to have a Paw Patrol party, right? Favorite board game? Right now, it's probably Azul or Photosynthesis, but there's so many good ones. There's so many great ones. Azul and Photosynthesis are the most recent ones I've picked up that I've really been enjoying. Come on, Maelstrom Pulse. Come on, Maelstrom Pulse. Come on, Maelstrom Pulse. Redraw. I think I do this and stick Kalitas now. Just like stick Kalitas if the coast is clear, play a second Treetop Village, and then maybe I can pressure. Ooh, that's a little unfortunate. Alright, I mean, if they want to click Kalitas out of my hand here, I get another shot at a Maelstrom Pulse, which is nice. Yeah, I played the DC deck building game. It's okay. It's just like average. That's unfortunate. Please take something. I really can't afford for this to miss. Well, I mean, their hand isn't particularly good, so I've got that going for us. So I get to play this. I get to play this Treetop Village. I get to pass the turn. This doesn't ult till 8, right? Yeah. Can't you at least, like, plus the Teferi first? Just, like, make me think maybe it took you 2 cards to draw it? What are great board games for 6 people? I'm going on vacation and need stuff for friends. Evolution's actually a great card game for 6 people. Evolution and Happy Pigs would be my recommendations for games for more than 4 people. There aren't a lot of really good games that play more than 4. I think those are my 2 favorites that play more than 4. Off the cuff. I'm sure if I thought about it, I'd think of others that we play occasionally that play more than 4, but Happy Pigs and... No, Happy Pigs is not one that rolls pigs like dice. Magic's a low variance game. Yep. And they have their Celestial Colonnade back here, so I can't even pressure the Teferi here if I wanted to. Gosh. Gosh, that would have been so reasonable on this board. It's also worth noting that, like, my treetop villages would have been much better there as Raging Ravines. Like, had those treetops either than been a Raging Ravine, they could have attacked into the Celestial Colonnade. So it's very possible that, like, Raging Ravine is one of the big pickups we get from playing Jund as opposed to straight green black, and that I should just have a 3rd copy of Raging Ravine. Or honestly, there's a good chance I should just have all 4 and 0 treetop villages. Teferi is very, very good. Much, much better than that shitty Jace the Mind Sculptor card that people thought was going to ruin Modern. Idiots. Treetop's efficiency is good. It's hard to match. That's one of the reasons why Mutavault is so good, right? Because Mutavault is a spend 2 mana, deal 2 damage creature land, and Treetop Village is a spend 3 mana, deal 3 damage creature land. Yeah, that's also possible too. That just like playing a 5th creature land because I'm playing 25 lands is correct. I'd buy that for $1 potentially. It's not looking good for our hero, chat. It's not looking good for our hero. Right in the... Oh, jeez. Fucking Watsy, man. Just gotta kick a guy while he's down. Just fucking and whatever. Hit the motherfucking Tron button. Just like, Do I even play a land or do I just concede? I feel like I'm just supposed to concede and get to my post-board games. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I think I get more percentage points by conceding than by grinding it out. That's true. That's actually fair. They could be a Tron build where I want to board slightly differently, so that's a fair session. Tino, take my energy in these post-board games. God bless. This is why Wet Ball's a main deckable card. I think I'm happy with that. You can maybe argue that I want this card to regenerate from Oblivion Stone, but that's a little bit clunky, so I'm going to pass on that. It's been a brutal evening. We've had a mixture of like bad beats and strong draws on the opponent. What are my thoughts on green-black trackers versus Jund? The Tron matchup is much worse right now because we don't have access to Field of Ruin and straight Jund. But I think once Alpine Moon comes out, honestly, I think Alpine Moon out of the sideboard is going to be a reason to push you towards the Jund deck, the Jund colors, instead of just green-black again. Because playing, 2 to 3 Alpine Moons could give you a real shot against the Valakut Titan deck. Yeah, but if they are Eldrazi Tron, we'll gain a bunch of percentage points because their deck is terrible, so we've got that going for us too. I hate everything about everything. D-d-d-d-d-d-d. That's fine. I didn't want to play a 5th match anyways. I'm going for almost 3 hours. It's almost 11:30. I should go to bed like an adult. This is Wizards of the Coast letting me know that I should go to bed like an adult. Look, they are playing shitty Tron. That's why you're in the 0-3, the 1-2 bracket. That's why you're down here with me, huh? Eldrazi Tron's a much better matchup. Alright. Oh, it's just a matter of Reshaper. Whew. 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 I was a little worried there for a second. I was ready to concede to a Thoughtseer and just take my licks and go home. Oh, good, Karn. Glad you're a little far off of casting that one. I am just going to try and beat them to death here, so just get in for 3, slam this Bloodbraid next turn, and hope it's good enough. Stop it. Stop it. I've had enough. That was a rough set. Playing fair and modern. I don't know. The green black decks felt pretty good the last couple times we played, and that felt really rough. Maybe it was just a bad set of variants, but I don't know. I don't know that I'd blame the red cards necessarily. Although I do suppose, again, if we would have had Field of Runes, we would have been able to attack in on the blue-white matchup. So, that's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big deal. So, maybe the stuff we gain is not worth losing 4 copies of Field Rune. I think that card is really powerful in Modern right now. And I think it's probably worth having. All right, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for the night, folks. I'll be back at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow morning, so 9 a.m. Cornfield time, which is approximately 9.5 hours from now. I'll be back. Everybody have a good evening. Thanks for the support as always, and I'll catch you in the morning. Everybody have a good night. Somebody's streaming string cheese. Go watch Z Magic. Thank you for the 3-month resub deck, yo. I appreciate it.